Hello and welcome to episode 2 of The Halfway Line with me, Aaron Gordon, and my co-host.
You what? Got it right.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got it right this time. You got your name wrong last week. Been quite a weird week on football. Scottish Cup weekend, obviously. Got a few stories to talk about today, but how are you doing, Leo? Just want to know.
Yeah, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. We got a day off yesterday, so
Yeah, it's nice,
feeling quite energized.
We tried to make pancakes, and we were stood up for 3 hours trying to make pancakes. It was going horrific.
That's some story.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible.
3-hour pancakes. So, I want to start today's pod. Obviously, last week's episode, that was our debut. So, we had some comments on the last podcast. So, I'm going to answer some comments in general I've received from people. So, we've got one from Kev Heller, one of my dad's friends. Good first effort, lads. Think you should narrow your chat down to say just Scottish football, which is fair enough. But the whole point of this podcast is that Leo doesn't know much about football, so we kind of have to spread ourselves quite thinly. So I kind of focus on more the Scottish side of stuff, and you kind of chime in about the world football stuff.
Yeah. It just means that we're not limiting ourselves to one thing, and if there's not much football on that week for Scottish football, we can still talk about other stuff. It's just easier that way, and it's a bit broader that way.
And we've had a few comments from people in our college class.
Yeah,
a few hate comments, but we move past it. We don't listen to them.
We don't. The haters mean nothing.
And going back on like reviewing the stuff, I was quite loud compared to you last week, but I think
we've tried to fix the levels this time.
But I think we've got it. We think we've got a perfect balance this time. So hopefully this is good for the listening pleasure. So this week's stories, I'm going to start off with the Scottish Cup because it was all of the west of Scotland, all the lower league teams that were playing. So a few standout results, to be honest. Let me just pull this up because I do remember seeing a few. I think it was Camlin beat Albion Rovers, which is quite a. I mean, I don't know if you know what that is. Camlin are quite a low down team.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
Never.
Right, where are we? Here we go. So, Camlin beat Albion Rovers. So, Albion Rovers used to be around League 2 normally. So, quite a big result for Camlin. A local team to me, Genefield Swifts in Perth, got beat 4-0 by Clydebank, which is very unfortunate. A few seasons ago, I actually watched them beat Elgin.
Oh, wow.
They beat Elgin 6-0 when Elgin were in League 2.
That's quite the result.
I know, that was great day that. And the week was rounded off with Stirling University beating Burnt Island Shipyard 6-2. So a few games there, not many to like write home about. Not many like major upsets, to be honest. But a few of the games looked really good. You know what I mean?
Next fixtures out. Yeah.
Next fixtures are out, yeah, but it's not for another bit. We can talk about it when it comes around. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
But yeah, so Scottish Cup weekend, always love that. Obviously, this is something you'll know more about. Champions League games last night.
Champions League last night, yep. I think Real Madrid won. I think Liverpool lost.
Liverpool lost to Galatasaray. Yes, they did. Let me just pull up these results. So
it was 1-0 to Galatasaray, wasn't it?
It was 1-0. So it started off, the 2 early kickoffs. It was Atalanta beat Club Brugge 2-1. Cara Almaty, who are making their debut in the Champions League, actually, they knocked out Celtic. They got beat by Real Madrid 5-0. Then it came on to a thrashing of Atletico Madrid beating Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1.
Yeah.
Which is a good result.
Great result.
And Bodo Glimt were 2-0 up against Spurs, and it ended 2-2.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I think bringing that back for Spurs was really good. It was like, what was it? Was it a 90th minute own goal, or was it?
Yeah, it was a really scrappy goal. I was watching it.
Like,
I turned off the Galatasaray game because I was bored, so I turned that on because it looked like a good game. But yeah, Chelsea beat Benfica 1-0. Jose Mourinho's return to Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
Even Chelsea had a red card in the last minute. João Pedro got sent off.
God's sake. Does that mean he's got a ban for the next match then?
He's got a ban for the next match.
For a 96th minute red card.
I know. Obviously, the big talking point that a lot of people are talking about, Galatasaray beating Liverpool. Mm-hmm. Not many. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I heard a story last night, by the way. Liverpool fans were kept in the stadium till like 1 a.m. because they didn't want Galatasaray, because obviously they have to keep fans behind sometimes. But but like it's 1 a.m. and the same thing happened. Mind the Champions League final a few years ago. I think they were playing Real Madrid in Paris, and they got like tear gassed and stuff, and they kept it inside the stadium. That was something similar to what was happening in Istanbul. But I don't think they got tear gas. I think it was just kept outside for ages. But I think they just need to do a better job of organising that.
Yeah, I think there's always those issues, and they just never seem to try and fix them.
Yeah. Paphos they scored an amazing goal. If you get a chance, go and watch it. Paphos scored a great goal against Bayern Munich where they lost 5-1, but I saw the goal, unreal. And yeah, that pretty much rounds off Champions League. It was Marseille beating Ajax and Inter beating Slavia Prague.
Yeah, well, speaking of Bayern, we did get some comments on the Harry Kane comments we made last week.
I think it was more of the comments that I made.
Yeah, I did agree with them, but I think we might have to...
I think I might need to go back on my statement because he is the fastest ever player to reach 100 goals in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, and I saw a stat earlier from Fabrizio, my guy. He has scored 17 goals in 9 games.
It's not a great take from me.
So he might actually be good or something like that.
Probably just my bias towards England, to be honest, because I've never liked Harry Kane. I just don't like him. But I think I can't eat my words a bit. He is a good player. But I'd still stand by some of the things I've said. He's not as good as people says he is. He's got power, he's got shoot, but I don't think he's that clinical in dribbling, but not all strikers need to be. You know what? He's a class player. I'm gonna eat my words. I'm trying to like back myself up for what I said last week. I'm trying not to like become a total hypocrite, but he is a good player.
Yeah.
I just don't want to admit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those.
But yeah, so Harry Kane, 100 goals, like fastest ever player at his age, which is incredible.
Yeah, to be fair,
it's incredible.
Credit where credit is due.
I know. Like, I think moving from Spurs was the right move.
Absolutely. He
was still 30 when he moved. He's still got maybe like another 5 years left of his career. So I'm just gonna pull up. How many goals did he score at Tottenham? I'm just gonna see. Tottenham goals. I just want to see how many he scored. So he scored 280.
That's a fair amount of goals.
That's a fair amount of goals. How long he was there from 2011 to 2023, and he's nearly halfway. Not was it 140?
Yeah,
140. He's 40 goals away from being halfway in 2 years.
I mean, that's fairly good. He was at Spurs for ages, though, no?
Yeah, he was at Spurs for 12 years, and he's been there for 2 years, and he's nearly at half.
Jeez.
But to be fair, he was out on loan a lot of the time at Spurs. But I'm moving away from that because we've kind of rinsed that thing a bit. Scotland squad been announced for the game against Belarus. Any players that stood out for you? Have you looked at it?
I didn't look at it. This sounds unpatriotic now, but
yeah, it does.
I would have thought it was mostly the same as it has been.
So you got the big talking point was Craig Gordon, 42 years old. He's been called up for it.
I mean, I'm sure Liam Kelly got the call up as well, but
he did.
I don't know if I would replace. I just don't know how I would have it.
A lot of people would. I mean, Xander Clark, he's not getting a game, but like I don't see. I mean, he doesn't. He hasn't had a game. Angus Gunn, he's the first keeper. Is he still at Norwich? I don't even think does Angus Gunn have a club at the moment? Because if he does, surely. Hang on, let me see. I don't know if Angus Gunn has a club. Oh, he's in Nottingham. I didn't know he was at Nottingham Forest. I thought he left Norwich and just hadn't got a new club.
I had no idea, to be honest.
Yeah, Scotland's it's kind of fairly similar to the last one.
Yeah.
Kieran Bowie getting in there. I think a lot of people are talking about Shanklin not being in there. Because have you seen the stat that's just come up recently that he's the highest ever goal scorer since the SPFL started. Really? Obviously, because it was like the first division and everything and like the Premiership. Since the SPFL, he's the highest goal scorer.
I think it's not very great to not include him.
Yeah, I mean, did he get it over George Hurst, Lyndon Dykes, Kieran Bowie and Jay Adams?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think he should be included.
I've not seen enough out of George Hurst. Like, I've not watched him play personally. Like, I haven't seen him much in Scotland.
To be honest, I like Lyndon Dykes, but I feel like Shanklin could be better. Like, really, if you let him play.
I suppose, yeah. I think he's one of these players that do well for a club. I haven't seen enough. He scored a few. He scored against Georgia in the Euros, in the Euro qualifiers a few years ago. I remember it was like a last minute. I think we drew like 2-2 with them or something. But I think Shanklin should be in there, to be honest.
I just feel like at least include him.
Yeah.
Because he is a fairly reliable player, and if you let him play and get him used to the system and the guys, then I feel like there's every chance that he gets there and he starts scoring.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with that, to be honest. So there was Scottish football games over after the last week. We always go over them.
I've got a specific one in mind.
Is that what you've been looking at this whole time?
No. Rangers have their first Premiership
I'll
win.
let you report on this one.
So I was watching it. I did get the time to watch this one. I'm not sure if I'm thankful for it because it was a stressful watch and it was against Livingston. So opened up a fairly early goal. I feel like the first half Rangers were really good. They were actually very good. It was really nice to watch. Although I did find that any time we lost the ball, like the counter-attack just went almost right through us. It was really, we had to recover quite a bit. But yeah, Tavernier gets the first goal. There was a good few chances before that, and then almost immediately after, a penalty chance.
Mm-hmm.
We get the penalty, and it's saved.
I didn't watch the game. I didn't even know that.
It was, honestly, I think it was about 5 minutes after the goal. The penalty gets saved.
So it could have been a much more comfortable win if you'd scored that penalty.
Absolutely. And then, just after that as well, close to the end of the half, I think, we get, I think it was Trimiti. He controls, well, I don't think, it kind of hits off him, his arms are down, and he scores, and then they rule it out for a handball. Although, the replay I only saw the one replay. It didn't look like a handball to me, but again, I only saw the one replay, so I can't really say. But even then, his arms were fully down. I don't think he could have really stopped that. So I'm not sure what the actual specific rules are, if it's where your arms need to be for it to still count. But it could have been 3-0 in the first half.
Really?
Or at least 3-0 in the early second half.
I saw Livingston's goal. What was it, a header? Was it from a corner?
It was from a corner. It was like 60-something minute. Like fairly...
Yeah, let me check, because I remember 68th minute, Mo Salah.
Yeah, I was so annoyed. I was actually in an Uber coming back from Edinburgh. I was like getting an Uber to the O2 Academy because that's where I park, and I saw the goal. Okay. I saw the goal go in. I was like,
"What do you mean you were getting an Uber back to go in your office?"
No chance. No chance. I wasn't paying all that. But yeah, it was quite relentless from Rangers after that. A lot of good stuff getting into the box and getting crosses and everything. It was really, really quick, which I did like. But realistically, we shouldn't be letting that goal in, and we should have got those first two as well. We should have had more than that as well. Like, there were plenty of chances. It just wasn't clinical enough, really. But eventually, it gets to the 90th minute, and there's, I think it was 6 minutes of injury time or something like that. And in the 94th minute, after, I think, a run of about 5 corners, like it was just non-stop, Max Aarons of all
pops
people.
Up. And then the Rangers fans were singing for Martin to be sacked.
Yeah, so I think they were singing it most of the time, and then Tavernier scored.
It was the loudest it was when they scored the last minute goal.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if he had drawn to Livingston or lost, because there was every chance.
I mean, he looked so happy when they scored.
Yeah, because his job's been saved for just another game. I think I really don't think he can last very long. I just don't know how long the board can say, well, we just have to give him time. I don't know how much time he can have.
Just the pressure from the fans as well, you know what I mean?
I know, because, I mean, you saw the Hibs game. There's nobody there.
No.
There's nobody there.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, folks still turned up for the Livingston game. It was sold out, always is.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But going to move away from Rangers. We're going to look at the other results in the power. You know what, I'm going to start with the Championship.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about the Premiership. I'm joking, I'll talk about it after. So it started off, Ayr United got a 4-2 victory over Airdrie. They're on a good run. Saints play them this Saturday, so... But Saints are on a better run, so it's fine. I'm actually a bit nervous about that game, but... I mean, I've been nervous about a bunch of games. And we've won them. So... Partick Thistle beat Dunfermline 2-0, also on a good run of form. They look like the closest we have to title contenders at the moment.
Okay.
Because if they win their 2 games in hand, they're 3 points behind us.
Yeah, looking at the table just now, you've got a good little gap though.
Yeah, we do. But look, Partick got 2 games in hand. And they won their... Well, no, they won their 1 game in hand last night, actually, which I'll get onto in a sec. Ross County. 18 points between us and them.
Yeah.
Have you seen how many signings they've made this season?
I haven't, but they're second bottom.
Let me just pull this up, because they made 2 more yesterday. They've signed Miller Thompson from Dundee United and Sean Mackey from Falkirk on loan. The amount they must have spent in this transfer window, let me just count how many they've brought in. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Surely there's a cap on how many
22 players they've brought in. They are panic buying. They've signed so many players. And then they were title favourites before the season started.
Do you think any of these players have actually made a difference yet? I mean, it's quite early in the season, to be fair.
I just think it's too many players to bring in for a team to gel together, because most of these players are in the first team.
Yeah, it's like a whole new squad.
They've not spent a penny on transfer fees. It's all been loans or free transfers.
Well, then I guess, but
the amount they must be paid. They've got Callum Davidson. Do you know who he is? Callum Davidson, right? He's the guy who won this cup double with Saints.
Yeah.
Right? He's their assistant manager. The wage he must be on is crazy.
I mean, if you're bringing them all in for free or like getting them loaned, I mean, I guess that's fair enough. But the amount you're still racking up
the amount you're paying on wages must be like, it must be crazy. Honestly,
they must have just assumed they were going to win the league and it was going to pay off.
Oh yeah, that was clearly the plan.
That could be their absolute downfall. What if they get relegated again?
Well, that's what everyone's saying. Everyone's saying this will be the best team in League One.
Yeah.
Next game, Queen's Park 1, Saints 2. I was at work when this game was on. I had to ask a customer what the score was at full time. Josh McPake coming through with a goal again. I mean, it was a weird stadium situation. So you know Queen's Park play at Hampden?
Yes.
They've moved to Lesser Hampden this season, which is a stadium right next to Hampden.
Yeah.
Only 250 Saints fans were allowed, which is bad because there was a ballot given out to get people get tickets. So, 250, that's awful. Like,
that's like nothing.
I know, but there must be some sort of reasoning behind it. They might have lost they might not be able to play at Hampden. They might think it's more might be cheaper to play at Lesser Hampden.
Maybe.
But another massive win for Saints. I mean, it was 1-0 at half time and we scored an 89th minute winner through Josh McPake.
Are you unbeaten this season?
Unbeaten. Only loss we've had is in the Premier Sports Cup. We got beat 1-0 by Motherwell at extra time.
But in the Championship, that's, pretty good.
Definitely. Wraith Rovers 3-0 against Arbroath. Being kind of up and down in form, Wraith. Let's look at their last results quickly. So, drew 0-0 with Airdrie last match, which is not great. Lost 2-0 to Saints. Beat Morton 1-0. And then got beat by Partick 3-2. So, it's been kind of up and down for Wraith fans this season. We'll move on to the Premiership next. Celtic drawing 0-0 with Hibs, which gets a great knock-on effect for this next game. Hearts beating Falkirk 3-0, which puts Hearts 2 points clear at the top of the league.
Yeah, to be honest, Hearts, I feel like Hearts do this every season. They start really well.
See, the thing is, I don't think it's Hearts. I feel it's the same what happened at Aberdeen last season, right? They were up there with Celtic. Mm-hmm. They were competing for the first maybe 10, 12 games. They got beat by St Mirren and didn't win a game for ages. And it just went all downhill. But I don't know, I feel like Aberdeen last season, they had such a good start to see. They didn't even, if they hadn't won the Scottish Cup, they wouldn't have got Europe. Which, if you told an Aberdeen fan that at the start of the season, you wouldn't have believed them.
No.
The football they were playing was really good, but then their confidence was just gone. But Hearts, 2 points clear at the top of the league, they're doing really well under Derek McInnes. People are talking about if they actually have a chance at the title. So, what do you think about that?
I mean, I don't really think they do. I feel like this happens most seasons, and if we're being honest, I mean, the first Old Firm being a 0-0 draw as well, I just don't know. I feel like Rangers can absolutely come back, because earlier in the season they can absolutely come back, whether Russell Martin gets a hold of the players and the squad and really manages to get the best out of them, or if a new manager comes in and takes over, Rangers will be up there.
I don't think Rangers will win the league. There's no way. Absolutely no way.
I think there's still a chance. I just think it is unlikely. Like, if we're being honest, we've got a good set of players, but if we cannot get a good enough manager that the players can get behind and that can really get the best out of them, that there's no chance, or there's no point in like thinking about it, because Celtic are always going to be that reliable team. I mean, most of the time they're going to see Rangers and say, well, we can just beat them. I mean, every team in the Scottish Prem right now is probably saying that about Rangers, because they're so on and off. They can play really well, like they did on Sunday. They can play really well the first half and still only score one goal, and then they can really fall off in that second half.
Who's Rangers' main striker this season?
So I think I don't really know. I think they're playing Miovski for Premiership games and Trimi for Europe. I think they're kind of doing that a lot with players.
Yeah, so they're kind of like intertwining them between Europe and Premiership,
and then they'll kind of sub them on as and when.
Yeah, because they're kind of like they're what do you call it? They're trying to keep them both fit for the games,
which is fair. But I think if you've got some, I mean, Miovski's been fairly good. I don't see any issues with him specifically. I really don't see any issues with the players. I think there were plenty good signings. The squad looks fairly good. I mean, realistically, when I saw these players getting signed, I thought we've got a good chance. This is like better than we were. There's a better squad than we had last season, I think. Like individually, but when they fall off hard, and it's just not good at all. And I really don't know what the problem is. I can't say. I don't know if it is Russell Martin or if the players just don't have it in them. I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it happens every season with Rangers. I feel like they get a new manager, they win one. There's a thing I always see as photos like the Rangers cycle. Yeah. They win one game, manager's a genius, lose to Celtic, blame Tav and Goldson. Is Goldson even at the club anymore? No, didn't think so. Blame Tav, and then it all just goes round in a circle. It happens every year. But yeah, that's... I
actually think Tavernier's been fairly good so far this season, and last season he was fairly good as well. I think he was mostly consistent. I mean, the stat I was reading to you this morning, he's the top scorer for Rangers in the Scottish Premiership this season with 3 goals.
Well, wasn't he the top goal scorer in the Europa League like a few seasons ago?
I think so. I mean, he has been fantastic for Rangers, and he continues to be. I think sometimes like he gets tired halfway through the season because he constantly gets played, and he's the captain. We want him there, but he does need a break every little while, I think, and just to keep him going.
Definitely. I'm going to move to more of a world football topic. You've been to the San Siro, haven't you?
I have. I was there almost a year ago today.
Well, you'll be devastated to know that it's getting destroyed for a new stadium.
Yeah, I heard, but I'm sure it just got... I don't know if it was refurbished or just, like, extended.
Yeah, I know, that's what I think, but I'm pretty sure. So San Siro, I think both clubs agreed on Tuesday they were going to build a new joint stadium, which I think is a bit weird, because you'd want to... Surely this is an opportunity to separate grounds.
I know, but they've had so many opportunities to separate, have they not?
Yeah, but I don't know why they don't.
It's part of their culture and tradition at this point to stay together.
I suppose, but surely for convenience-wise, you'd want to build like 2 separate stadiums. You know what I mean?
But it is something that allows them to, I mean, if I'm being honest, it's probably a profit standpoint, because when you go there, they have everything split in 2s. obviously, and they really build off that. And in their museum as well, that's a lot of what they talk about during the guide. They talk about it all the time, is that they were actually one team and they split into two, and this is why, and this is why, you call them Inter and you call the other you call AC Milan, not.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful stadium, you know what I mean?
It was a lovely stadium. It was massive when you go in.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, honestly, inside it's lovely. The locker rooms, changing rooms, so nice. They're really nice.
I'm just going to go to the games coming up that we'll be talking about next week. Monaco against Man City. Could be a good game. I think the main talking point tonight is Barcelona against PSG, which, I don't know. It's either going to be it could end as a really close draw, or one of the teams is just going to blow the other away.
I'd probably want it to be close, but I want both teams to score a lot, because I think it's almost like a bit of a rivalry they've got right now, especially with the Champions League last season. I think if it's a really close game and there's 3 goals apiece or something, it's just going to be such a good match to watch.
I think that a lot of people wanted Barcelona PSG in the Champions League final last year. I certainly did.
I did.
I thought Inter were good in the semi-final, but the final they just got torn to shreds.
I know.
That was so dominant.
You know what? I think Barcelona have been a fantastic team. I think PSG have been fairly similar, but I think they were better. And if they're able to fight properly, I think it would be really good. It'd just be such a fun match to watch, I think.
So we got Europa League on Thursday and Conference League. Aberdeen playing Shakhtar Donetsk from Ukraine. So I saw a tweet actually. It was like, this is the most Aberdeen thing ever to beat Shakhtar 3-0 and lose 1-0 to Dundee on Saturday or Sunday, which is very true. It is the most Aberdeen thing ever. Feyenoord against Aston Villa should be a good game. Rangers Sturm Graz away. How are you feeling about that?
I feel the same about every time we're in the Europa League. I just, at some point, Rangers have to win it. But definitely not this season. I think they got really close and then they just haven't been able to keep up their pressure. I just really want them to just unlock whatever it is and them to just play well all the time. They can do so well and then they just stop. They just have such a big fall off.
Yeah. I'm gonna start a new thing next week on this podcast, right?
Right.
So my dad, he phoned me after the podcast and he's like, "Kid, something you could talk about." He's like, "You could talk about Scottish players abroad."
Yes.
And because I was on about McTominay and everything and Gilmore. So I might start a new thing next week where it's players you might not have heard of. Oliver Burke. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Oliver Burke. This is something we can talk about. First ever There's actually, hang on, let me just check. Because he apparently, but my dad said he might not be, he's the first ever Scottish player to score a hat-trick in the Bundesliga.
Oh, right, okay.
So he did that for Union Berlin. Where's the stat I had? Oliver Burke hat-trick, because it's quite a big thing for Scotland. First ever. I think he scored it against Eintracht Frankfurt. He scored 3 goals. Becoming only the 3rd Union player to score 3 goals in a single Bundesliga match. And
not just for Scotland, but for the club as well.
And the first to do it away from home.
Wow.
Which is quite a good stat. Which is, what was he? He was at Celtic a few years ago, wasn't he, Burke?
I think so.
I'm sure he was. Because I'm just looking at an article just now. He was once likened to Gareth Bale.
I think that's a bit far.
I was going to say, he might have been. He scored after Frankfurt securing a 5, because they beat Galatasaray 5-1 in the Champions League. Wow. Union Berlin. Days after Frankfurt secured what? Oh, sorry. Frankfurt beat Galatasaray 5-1 and then Union beat Frankfurt 4-3.
Wow, okay.
So, it's quite a... I've not really seen him play much. Because Burke played for... I want to say... Oh, who did he play? Was it Sheffield United?
I have no idea.
I might be very wrong. Because he used to play. I'm sure he used to play for an English team. But I might be incredibly wrong, to be honest. He did play for Sheffield United. He played for Celtic as well. So he's been at a few clubs. Like he's been at a lot of English clubs. He was at Leipzig, and then he went to Millwall, which is quite a weird move.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he started off at Nottingham Forest under 18s. So it's quite a cool stat that. But
yeah, first Scottish player to score a hat-trick in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, but I'm sure it was. My dad said there was something to do with like he might not be. It might just be in the Bundesliga era. But I can look up that next week.
We can start the segment properly next
Start
week.
the segment properly so we have something to talk about at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to start doing that next week. I'm going to get some info about some players that are playing abroad. So yeah, that is all we have time for this week. Thank you, Leo.
No problem. Thank you.
This has been the Halfway Lane episode 2. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.